Hi children, good morning to everyone. Come back to the English language learning. Today we are going to learn a new prose which is titled as The Portrait of a Lady, and the author name is Khushwant Singh. Before entering into the lesson, you can learn about the author. Khushwant Singh is an Indian writer in English. He was born on 2nd February 1915. He is a prominent Indian novelist and journalist. He was a lawyer, diplomat, and politician. Singh's weekly column with malice towards one and all, carried by several Indian newspapers, is among the most widely read columns in the country. Singh is best known for his penchant for secularism, his humor, and an abiding love of poetry. His experience in the 1947 partition of India inspired him to write Train to Pakistan in the year 1956, which became his most well-known novel. He has won the Padma Bhushan Award in 1974 and Padma Vibhushan Award in 2007, and also Punjab Ratan Award he has received. He was one of the editors of the famed Illustrated Weekly of India. These are the informations given about the author, and now let's learn about the prose. Already we have mentioned the title of the prose is The Portrait of a Lady. Now let's go through the lesson by reading and its explanations. My grandmother, like everybody's grandmother, was an old woman. She had been old and wrinkled for the 20 years that I had known her. People said that she had once been young and pretty and even had a husband. But that was hard to believe. My grandfather's portrait hung above the mantelpiece in the drawing room. Here in this lesson, the author Khushwant Singh portrays that the character of his own grandmother, and he shares his life experiences with her. He describes her to be an old woman with a wrinkled face for the 20 years that he had known her. And people used to say that she had been young and pretty and she had even a husband, but that was hard to believe. And he says that my grandfather's portrait hung above the mantelpiece in the drawing room. The portrait means structure surrounding a fireplace or a shelf forming the top of a mantelpiece. Next one, he wore a big turban and loose fitting clothes. His long white beard covered the best part of his chest, and he looked at least 100 years old. He is describing his grandfather that he was wearing a loose fitting clothes and big turban, and also his white long beard was covering the best part of his chest, and he looked at least 100 years old. He did not look the sort of person who would have a wife or children. He looked as if he could only have lots and lots of grandchildren. As for my grandmother being young and pretty, the thought was almost revolting. She often told us of the games she used to play as a child. It seemed quite absurd and undignified on her part, and we treated it like the fables of the prophets she used to tell us. Absurd means inappropriate or completely unreasonable, and fables means short story. So she was telling short story and undignified on her part, and we treated it like the fables of the prophets she used to tell us. She was telling them about prophets through short stories. She had always been short and fat, slightly bent. Her face was a crisscross of wrinkles running from everywhere to everywhere. No, we were certain she had always been as we had known her. Old, so terribly old that she could not have grown older and had stayed at the same age for 20 years. She could never have been stayed at the same age for 20 years. She could never have been pretty, but she was always beautiful. She hobbled about the house in spotless white with one hand resting on her waist to balance her stoop and the other telling the beads of her rosary. Her silver locks were scattered entirely over her pale, puckered face, and her lips constantly moved in inaudible prayer. Yes, she was beautiful. She was like the landscape in the mountains, an expanse of pure white serenity, breathing peace and contentment. Here, pale means having little color, and puckered means tightly gathered or contracted into wrinkles or small folds, and inaudible means unable to be heard. So here this grandmother looks like wrinkling. He is describing her to be an old woman with wrinkled face, slightly bent, and her silver locks were scattered untidily over her pale and puckered face. He describes his grandmother about the house in spotless white with one hand resting on her waist to balance her stoop. At the same time, the other hand she was using to tell the beads of her rosary. She was praying all the time, and she was very beautiful, and she was like a landscape in the mountains, and an expanse of pure white serenity, breathing peace and contentment. She was always in peaceful and being in contentment. The next one, my grandmother and I were good friends. My parents left me with her when they went to live in the city and were constantly together. She used to wake me up in the morning and get me ready for school. She said her morning prayer in a monotonous sing song while she bathed and dressed me in the hope that I would listen and get to know it by heart. I listened because I loved her voice but never bothered to learn it. Then she would fetch my wooden slate, which she had already washed and plastered with yellow chalk, a tiny earthen ink pot, and a red pen, tie them all in a bundle, and hand it to me. After a breakfast of thick stale chapati with a little butter and sugar spread on it, we went to school. She carried several stale chapatis with her for the village dogs. Here, the author and his grandmother were good friends. The author lived with her when his parents stayed in the city, and constantly they left him and the parents were staying in the city. In that times, the grandmother used to wake him up in the morning and made him to get ready. And she used to help him to take bath, and while giving bath, she used to say her morning prayer in a monotonous sing-song tune while giving bath and dressing him. She meant that he may listen the song of prayer and he can by heart. But the author says that he was listening her because he loved her voice but never bothered to learn it. And at the same time, the author says she used to get him ready for school and accompany him to school and spend her day in the temple attached to school and brought him back home in the evening. She fed the street dogs with the stale chapatis. My grandmother always went to school with me because the school attached to the temple. The priest taught us the alphabet and the morning prayer, while the children sat in rows on their either side of each of the veranda singing the alphabet or the prayer in a chorus. My grandmother sat inside reading the scriptures. When we had both finished, we would walk back together. This time, the village dogs would meet us at the temple door. They followed us to our home, growling and fighting with each other for the chapatis we threw to them. So, here the grandmother is always accompanying the author to school because the school was attached to the temple. And the priest used to teach them the alphabets and the morning prayers. And while children sat in rows on the veranda singing the alphabets and the prayer in chorus, when it is finished, they both walk back together towards home. And this time, the chapatis what they have taken from home, they used to give to the village dogs. So this time the dogs were following them towards their home, growling and fighting with each other for the chapatis they were throwing to the dogs. And the next one, when my parents were comfortably settled in the city, they sent for us. That was a turning point in our friendship. Although we shared the same room, my grandmother no longer came to school with me. I used to go to an English school in a motor bus. There were no dogs in the streets, and she took to feeding sparrows in the courtyard of our city house. Here the author says, when his parents comfortably settled in the city, they sent for us. So here it was a turning point in their friendship. Although the grandmother and he was sharing the same room, grandmother was no longer came to school with him. And he says that I used to go to an English school in a motor bus. So when the author went up to university, his link with his grandma was broken. She would spend her whole day reciting prayers while spinning her wheel. And in the afternoon, she would feed sparrows and was relaxed doing so. Here we end the session now, and let's have the continuation of the lesson in the next session. Read the chapter again and again and try to understand it properly. Thank you. Have a fruitful day.